My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to SpellRogue. Time to go in with Lapis again. We're looping back to the very start and hang on, Lapis. Did you? Yes, I have won a game with your second loadout, which means we're moving on to your third, which is Water Sea. Signature spell is Wave Shift. It takes any die, and 3 times a turn. On an odd, it will re-roll it into a higher die, and on an even, it will re-roll it into a lower one. So for full utilization of this, I would be looking for... what? I would be looking for valuable die... or sorry, valuable spells to cast with both high and low die. Here we have Ablution on a 4 to a 6, 3 times a turn, will give us 4 block, and Chilling Touch. On a 1 to a 3, 3 times a turn, it will deal twice as much damage as we put into it. So we don't want to put a 1 into that and only deal 2 damage, but a 3 for a 6, that sounds great to me. Alright, let's head in, Lapis. I'm going to continue trying to climb the mutation modifiers every single episode again, even though I recognize, oh boy, I've been having some difficulty with mutation stage 4 at the absolute least. Oh, it shows me each of the characters that's completed each of the stages as well. So eventually I imagine I'm gonna have to get each character to complete each stage. Mutation stage 5 is difficulty 15. That's a lot. Cataclysm plus 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 on the end of the 3rd turn. Receive 30 damage. Woof. There's also Spell Break. On spell depleted, apply Broken to spell. So whenever a spell is depleted, I'm going to have to waste an additional die unbreaking another spell. There's also Hush. 6th spell cast each turn receives 2 mute, so it can't be played for the next 2 turns. Oof. Those are the highest 3 modifiers here. Even with all of the lowest modifiers, I don't get to 15, so I am going to have to take one of these. I think the one that's going to be the easiest to navigate is Cataclysm Tempest. So at the end of the 3rd turn, receive 30 damage. Which means at the end of the 3rd turn, I'm going to need to block a huge amount, or I need to kill the enemy before the turn ends. And it stacks on top of Tempest, so I'm going to be taking 34 damage on that 3rd turn, and then another 4 damage every 3rd turn afterwards. So defense is going to be the name of the game here. Seashell Wand on turn 1, autocast a random spell. There's also the Coral Crown on turn 1, gain 2 Concoction, and then finally Glacier's Heart. Each turn, apply Glacial to a random spell, and if I play that spell first, I get 4 block for having done so. I think I should still probably take the Coral Crown here. Big reason being, if I find a way to ramp my defense, I may need the ability to suddenly cast some spells without charge costs. I mean, I really can't see a world in which I can get 2 elites down with this. But there is a path where I can avoid one of the elites and hit another event. So I think I'm going to take that path. There's 3 battles beforehand as well as a shard, so I might be able to find something to actually help me through it. Let's reroll this 4 into something lower. That's unfortunate. And 5s don't reroll into something lower. It would reroll into something higher because it's odd. Okay, so I'm actually going to reroll that 1 again, and then a 4 again. Hey, I was looking for a 3 and I got 1. Reroll a 5 into a 6, and then a 6 into a 1, and now I do have the ability to just hit the enemy 3 times with a 1, a 2, and a 3, which does 2, 4, and 6 damage. take the enemy out next turn if we do something similar. That'll do it. 1 and 1 and a 2 for a total of 10 damage to a 9 health enemy. That'll take him out. Some gold and a spell. There's Noxious Ritual. Admittedly, I don't want all of my Lapis runs to just be, you know, breaking things with Noxious Ritual. But given the difficulty that we're playing in of Cataclysm and Tempest, I don't think I can ignore the fact that Noxious Ritual gives us the ability, especially with Coral Crown, to generate a ridiculous amount of dice on turn 1. And every turn thereafter, frankly. I'm gonna take it. Still not looking to poison myself for a while, if I can avoid it at least. There we go. So it deals 6 damage. I'd love to be able to do another 6. There we go. Take out that backliner. I can wave shift to roll to something lower, as it turns out. Whoops, I forgot, because it was an even die. It's not it rolls low into higher and higher into lower. It's on an even, it rolls into a lower. On a odd, it rolls into a higher. I gotta make sure I remember that. I can slow walk this by just defending. As long as I kill it this turn, because otherwise I'm taking 34 damage. Energizing Potion target spell gets 2 extra. Channel Azure. On a 4 to a 6, gain X block and gain 1 foresight. I think that's ideal. I think I need to take some defensive options. I think Channel Azure works. It takes the exact same input as Ablution, but it's only got 1 charge. However, it also gives me the amount of block equal to what I put into it, whereas Ablution, for a 6, I still get 4 block. Gaining a foresight, obviously pretty important as well. I'm very likely to up the charges of Channel Azure. And then on my second turn, I need to cast Channel Azure as many times as possible, because on my third turn, I'm going to need to cast it as many times as possible, and then Ablution as many times as possible. And then the turn after, I can start pushing for lethal again. No one's attacking me this turn, so I can pretty much do what I want. Hey, I did end up with a 3. Love to see it. Channel some Azure for the extra dice next turn. So I would have to have 3 3s in order to deal 3 instances of 6 damage to the enemy, which would be 18 for their full HP bar. That's just not going to happen, I'll be real with you. So I should just defend appropriately this turn. So that's... Channel Azure gets me 4 block. I'm going to deal some damage to you, and then use Ablution. That allows me to full block. The enemy now only has 10 HP, which is much more achievable for Chilling Touch. In fact, we roll the ability to do it immediately. 3 2s invested gives us 12 damage on a 10 health enemy. Chemical reaction. Remove X poison. Apply 2 weak for each poison removed. That's not... Do you really want to do that at any point? Well, here's Blizzard. I can make it a worse sleet sky by upgrading it to only accept a 2. And wash away. Roll 1 surge. Sorry, roll 1 die for investing into this, and then also gain 1 surge. Both of these upgrades lower its countdown cost to 6, so I can cast it with a single die, which is nice. Especially because I know 5 always rerolls into 6, because it's an odd, it tries to reroll into a higher. There's only 6 to do that into. Wash Away would give us a newly rolled die out of that, as well as a surge. So I will apply weak to all enemies when gaining block for a turn, and then I also gain a block, which applies a weak to the enemy as well. My damage is garbage. I don't actually understand how I get through an elite fight at this point. And I will have one coming up. I have to reroll. As I have the Storm, gain 3 block. On a 2, you also gain a Hailstorm. On a 3, you also gain a Concoction. This is a very, very familiar build so far. Gain a Shard, and I need to find out how I can use this appropriately. I can avoid my first elite and go to 2 events, which I'm gonna have to do. There's no way I can fight the elite. I don't need to use the Shard yet, as these events might actually give me a different card that I want to upgrade. Choosing gain a water spell, an earth spell, or a fire spell. Okay, who necessarily would work very well with what I'm currently doing? Multi-hits, but multi-hits are available in each class. Die generation would be really nice. I could even generate low die, which I would be fine with. Okay, so I probably want to go with fire. Unfortunately, Chaotic Moment is the kind of defense that doesn't actually help us against Cataclysm and Tempest, because they're not coming from enemies, they're coming from a modifier. Zeal of the Sun for 5 countdown, destroy all dice. And then gain 4 block for each dice destroyed. That might just be enough defense to help me get through for a second. I'm going to replace the Eye of the Storm with it at the moment. So the idea is on turn 2, I cast Channel Azure as many times as possible. On turn 3, where I need to full defend, I cast Channel Azure as many times as possible. And Zeal of the Sun. Head to a Sanctuary. I'll disenchant Ablution for some max HP. Skip out of there. Take an event. 25 gold for Glimpse of the Void. Gain a potency. Apply Broken to a random other spell. It's not awful. I do like potency, and also that is a spell that only has one charge, so I can easily abuse it with the Coral Crown. There's also Disenchant a spell in order to choose and gain a Void spell. Void spells in general are also really good right now. It's just, if I'm gonna have to destroy something, I'm gonna have to destroy Eye of the Storm. After I've channeled Azure a bunch of times, how likely is Zeal of the Sun to actually help me a huge amount? So I'm rolling 3 dice per turn, assuming I do get 3 Foresight the turn previous, then Channel Azure, I've got 6. I invest 3 of those into Channel Azure because they will, at base, be as valuable as destroying a die through the Zeal of the Sun. And then Zeal of the Sun takes at least 1 more die to activate, and then I lose 2 for 8 block. Admittedly, I actually don't think that's as good as I was hoping it would be. I'm going to disenchant that. Amalgamate. Merge dice, gain 8 block. Also reroll dice and gain a foresight in omniscience here. It's just I don't really want to reroll 6s that much. Because 6s have a good placement right now in Channel Azure. I'm going to take a reroll here. Invoke mana. It's Invoke Mana, because Invoke Mana gives me the ability to abuse the Coral Crown, which also gives me the ability to abuse Eye of the Storm. I'm taking Invoke Mana over Noxious Ritual right now. And that's vaguely the order of the things I want to cast. Okay. Let's see if I can get through an elite battle with this. Oh boy, my man got health. That's 60. First off, let me invoke some mana. Twice, that was actually sick. Oh my god, that re-rolled into a 5? Hell yeah. I'm gonna Eye of the Storm for a concoction and then invoke some more mana. Let's wave shift this higher. One more. Okay. I'm not gonna be doing that much damage this turn. But I will get 3 foresight. Oh, I should have done 2 damage there. Oops. I'm gonna have to survive turn 3, obviously. There's no way. If I did 18 damage each turn, I'm still not capable of taking out the Carrion Abomination before the explosion goes off. Unless I was abusing Eye of the Storm, but I really don't want to do that. Let's wave shift this into a 6 and then down. And yeah, I was just hoping for something I could use for damage. This is 12 damage I can do on the back line of this turn. And I'm going to take 1. Now is the turn I need my best defense. I have 3 perfect charges for Chilling Touch right now, which is nice. But realistically, I just need to full defend as much as possible. Especially because I've been given sap, so I'm getting -1 block from each of my spells right now. I'm gonna have to wave shift these 3s higher. Get a concoction so I can invoke mana comfortably. There's 3 6s for Channel Azure immediately. I know they have to go there, so let's just do that. Alright, well, as it turns out, Marked does apply first. So I have to take 45 damage to Cataclysm and 6 damage to Tempest. But we have managed to get through that turn and survive. I have the Storm, a Invoke Mana. Sixes and Channel Azure. I've also got to make sure that I keep using my Chilling Touch appropriately as well. Otherwise, I'm literally never getting through this fight, no matter what. I'd rather at least have the possibility. Let's re-roll this 4 lower, this 4 lower. 6, 6 is 12, 12, 12. Yeah, I can do this. I have to give my Chilling Touch 2 extra charges with my potion, but I now have the ability to cast Chilling Touch enough times to take out the Carrion Abomination. Next big problem? Obviously, we're going to have the exact same interaction go on in the heart of the forest. That's going to be a problem. There's Energizing Potion. Poison Barrier. Toxic Mist. Yikes! It just doesn't feel like any of these are going to be impactful enough to actually be able to save me here. Like, Poison Barrier, look at that. 5 block. No, I have to reroll. I still need damage. How am I going to get through any fight ever? There's Poison Detonation. Remove all poison from the target and deal 3 damage for each poison removed. It's not useful here. Get an Ice Blast to deal 7 damage, and on a 7 invested in it, re-rolls the die. Okay, I'll take that. On turn 1, deal 15 damage to random enemy or get a shard. I'm gonna have to go for the shard there, thanks, bud. Need Eye of the Storm to have additional concoction. Because then, if I invest the 3 into Eye of the Storm, I can then play Invoke Mana. And then theoretically even go back to Eye of the Storm. I'd only need to continue generating 3s that would give me the ability to defend for as much as I want. Noxious Ritual, obviously, with Eye of the Storm having a Hailstorm effect, would give us the ability to push, but I don't think that'll be enough. I think I filter out my lows through Eye of the Storm already, so I probably replace Chilling Touch wholesale with Ice Blast, which is fine because it does more damage. I suspect I also need the ability to have Invoke Mana actually accept a wider range of things. I'm gonna have to just pay for 25 health here. I think it's the only way I possibly even succeed. It's uphill. Gotta fight around those. There's our free concoction. So I'll be casting Invoke Mana with that twice. You. I can pop a 6 and a 1 into Ice Blast to be able to do 7 damage and reroll a die. I can also put a 5 and a 2 in there to do the same. I can also put a 5 and a 2 in there in order to do the same. Prevents the incoming 10 damage from the enemy also. Despite that, I'm still going to defend this turn so that I can generate some foresight for an additional die next turn. Well, 2 additional die next turn, rather. Applying 1 curse. Next turn, that's going to be annoying. I'm going to reroll my 2 lower so that I can use a 6 and a 1 in an Ice Blast and also get a new die back. There's enough defense to keep us safe. I mean, I'll just put a 1 in an Ice Blast. That'll get lost by the end of the turn, but there's nothing I could have done with that that would have been useful. Okay, so thankfully, no one's attacking this turn. Unfortunately, the Heart of the Forest is going to get 5 power because I also can't afford to just attack it a bunch of times this turn. Unless I start going through my invoked mana, which actually I think I could. So I need to do 28 damage. I can do 21. I'm not going to be able to stop Heart of the Forest, but I will be able to get it closer to its stun trigger. Five and a 2, 5 and a 2, 5 and a 2. Alright. And then I'm looking to block as well as I can. Oh, I should have done that in the other order. I would have had a concoction available for next turn. Oops. There's a lot of 4s. 4s and 1s. Not much diversity in this hand, unfortunately. Hopefully I can wave shift to change some amounts. And in fact, I'm going to use a concoction to allow me to channel Azure 4 times this turn. So I'll have 4 foresight going into the next turn as well. So now I only have to worry about the 4 damage at the end of every third turn, but the thing is, next floor, I'm not killing regular enemies by turn 3, which, especially with Ice Blast being all of my damage right now, woof. Heart of the Forest is currently looking to debuff 2 of our spells with Broken. Honestly, that wouldn't actually be too difficult for us to deal with, but at the same rate, I don't want you to do that. So if you could just not, that'd be okay. Okay. 6 and a 1 into Ice Blast. Yeah. Let's reroll these 3s higher. I only need them to be... I'm misordering a lot of things here. Like, I could have additional Fury right now if I invested in Eye of the Storm first and then gained my Hailstorm from rerolling the wave shifts afterwards. Okay, the enemy is delicate. So they only have 40 more health, but if I deal 40 damage, I will stun them. They'll also be dead, but they'll be stunned also. Defend this turn also, so let's channel a bunch of Azure. Incoming damage is going to be, yeah, 27 versus my 22 blocks. I'm taking 5. Straight to the dome. I'm getting double cursed this turn as well, so my die is going to be bad. There we are. Lower them all. Why not? That's really frustrating. I have the ability to Ice Blast the enemy 3 times, and I'm gonna do it. Oh, thank heck. Ice Blast was left unblocked here. Oh. Yeah, never mind. I don't actually think that helps us as much as I wanted it to. To Ice Blast this enemy, I'm gonna have to spend 2 on that. I'm barely getting through this. Channel Azure. I would have to open Wave Shift in order to do anything with Channel Azure, which means I'm spending so many die. I have to hit the enemy, and then I have to block. And then I'm gonna have to leave this floor on 5 HP. Hey, if I'm lucky. I'm not lucky. Because I have to open Wave Shift. Oh no, wait, it's fine. Oh no, but I'm taking 4 damage at the end of this turn as well to Tempest. Block some of that, and then Ice Blast. Oh, thank heck. Okay, yep, I'm getting out of this turn. I'm leaving this floor. All I needed was a combination that would roll 7 so I can hit him with Ice Blast. We've got it now. And then another 7. Wow, that would have been great at any time. Back to half HP. Gain some gold, another shard, and a boss artifact here. Roll an extra die per turn, but -1 block from spells. I can't afford that. Balanced Mana Pearl on turns 2, 4, and 6, as well as every even turn thereafter. Roll an even value die, and then finally there's the Hex Robes. The Hex Robes, I can see them having value. Yeah, I might be able to use that Vex to help lower values to appropriate things for the sake of Eye of the Storm and such. Currently, I'm looking at giving Eye of the Storm to Concoction. Let's do it. Oh, Ritual will help. And I'm actually gonna open myself to the possibility of taking no Elite Sysflaw. That's great. Invoke 2 mana for free there. Then I can throw an Eye of the Storm in. Then invoke some mana. And then throw an Eye of the Storm in. Then invoke some mana. As long as I keep getting 3s, I'm capable of doing that forever. The Storm, and then I'm going to invoke some mana again. If I can Ice Blast 4 times this turn, I can take out the Spitting Grub before it does anything. So if I give it one of my concoctions, that is. Also, by using a Vex die there, I was capable of lowering my die to have 2 other allotments of 7. A 4 and a 3 gives it 7. 4 and a 3 gives it 7. While I have a 3 at the moment, though, I wonder if maybe I should hit another Eye of the Storm. That will be the end of my concoctions, but I'll be able to invoke some mana off the back of it. Six and 1 Ice Blast takes out the back liner, Spitting Grub rather. And then I'm looking to reroll these to be higher via Wave Shift, please. So that I can cast Channel Azure 3 times. Gaining the appropriate foresight. That's ultimately my turn. The thing is, that is a turn where I already still had 2... Well, number one, I rolled really well. But also, I had 2 concoction on turn 1 already to start getting that off the... There's a word I'm looking for here. To start. Off the bat. There we go. That's what I was looking for. That was gonna drive me mad. Okay, so we have access to a 3 again. In fact, we have access to a couple of 3s. Generating a lot of resources right now. I don't need to stop that. However, if I can Ice Blast this enemy 3 times this turn safely and 3 times next turn, I should actually be really happy. One and 6 into Ice Blast. 1 and 6 back into Ice Blast again. I'm gonna reroll a 4 to be lower. Ugh, that's not the number I wanted. A 3 to be higher. There we go. A 5 and a 2 into Ice Blast again. And at the end, I'm going to channel as much Azure as I can. So I only need to use Ice Blast 3 times next turn and I'll be fine. Although I should also block. So let's go Eye of the Storm. Oh man, rolling this many threes. Eye of the Storm, Eye of the Storm, Eye of the Storm. Each time I'm getting an additional concoction. Perfect. Let's invoke a bunch of mana. Well. That'll do it. Okay, let's pop a 5 and a 2 into Ice Blast, get our reroll. 4 and a 3 in there as well, and then we have the 6 and the 1 to end. So how? We actually managed to finish this fight before Cataclysm came in. I still don't like my damage enough. Elites this floor can have up to 120 HP, which 3 turns of focusing on the same target the entire time is still not going to get me there. Gold Soothing Solution. Remove all negative status effects. Interesting. Oh, hello. Forbearance. Deals 8 damage on dice rolled. -1 to its countdown. Without Eye of the Storm invoke mana, we can abuse that. I would have to take Wave Shift out of my build right now to be able to use it. Which I don't want to do. Quickly, let's get this ritual so I know what I'm working with. Flip all dice upside down. Target attack spell gains +5 attack this battle. I mean, that on Forbearance still seems pretty good. And Bloodlust, I don't want to toggle Bloodlust. Rerolling here so that I can look for something better defensive or something to recuperate from defense, like the Vampirism. Either of those would do pretty well. I'm going to take that reroll. Instantly cast target spell using the highest values possible. Enchant dice with Energize. Energized. When inserted into a spell, it increases that spell's damage and block by 4. Does that... If I enchant a 3, and then I put that 3 into Eye of the Storm, does Eye of the Storm, for the rest of the fight, give me more block? Add another charge to a target spell. Add a charge to a target spell is always reasonable. I'm going to take Spell Catalyst, and I hope that it works that way. Let's take an event as well. I'd love a shard. Lose Forbearance, and I gain the Spirit of Swiftness. After I cast 10 spells, deal 6 damage to all enemies. Considering what I can do with Eye of the Storm and Invoke Mana, that might actually be better than Forbearance. Lose Wave Shift. Gain Prejudice. Wave Shift is my signature spell. Storm in a bottle, cast 10 spells, gain a Hailstorm. Do I want to get rid of Wave Shift right now? Because if I do, I can get Forbearance out in the field. The only thing is, if I don't roll 3s, everything sucks. But I could roll a 3 or a 4, and the Vex Robes would take care of that. I do need space, and I do need damage. Maybe I just lose Forbearance. On 10 spells, deal 6 damage to all enemies. You know what? Yeah. That prevents me from... It leaves me with Wave Shift to help me make my turns actually work, and it prevents me from having to find another slot to be able to put Forbearance in at the moment. I'm going to try and face an elite. I'm going to put a Vexed 4 into invoke a mana there. So that now I have a 3 accessible for Eye of the Storm. Okay. Eye of the Storm. Into Eye of the Storm. I've got to make sure I always have 1 concoction left when I go back to Eye of the Storm as well. Which means I'm not going to be able to use Wave Shift in order to rectify something for Eye of the Storm, so I usually want to leave a 3 after as well. That's my bad. Haven't done that yet. Yeah, because now if I don't roll a 3, I'm in a sticky position. I'm just going to end my turn. That's fine. Okay, so a 5 and a 2 and Icy Blast. Let's reroll a 4 lower. 6 and a 1 in Icy Blast again, and then 6 damage to all of them because I've done 10 spells. Roll a 4 lower again. Great, we have a 4 and a 3 for another Icy Blast. Then I can cast Eye of the Storm and channel Azure 3 times so that I have 3 extra dice going into the next turn, as well as take no damage. Oh, here's our chance to cast Energized on something. That's really sad. It just increases... if that die is inserted into a spell, it just increases the effect of that spell instantly on that turn. On that cast, even. That's a lot worse than I wanted that to be. That's fine. Okay. Let's get another 3 into Eye of the Storm. And then another 3 into Eye of the Storm. Time to invoke some mana. Let's 3 back into Eye of the Storm without paying for it. Yeah, I can't confirm that this will ever continue unless I end up rolling a 3 with the 2 additional, well, with 1 additional concoction, which is not guaranteed. Because I have to use other spells in order to actually modify things. So it's always going to be pretty difficult. That said, whenever I do roll a 3, booyah. No more 3s. All right. 1, 2, 3. I would have to cast Ice Blast 5 times this turn in order to take the enemies. Actually, no. Hang on. We've got the Spirit of the Swiftness. So, no. I don't have to cast it that many times. In fact, I have to cast it 3 only, which means I'm still okay to invoke some more mana right now. Okay. So, it's 6 and a 1 on the backline target. Because they'll take excess damage from the Spirit of Swiftness. And then a 5 and a 2. Is this the second turn? Oh, damn, it is! Okay, maybe we're a lot more potent than I thought. This isn't the elite mind. There is a shop further up this path if I desperately want it. So I wonder if maybe I should leave myself with some money here. Grasp blow on an even, it gains 2 block and then rolls die. Twisted Geyser, excuse me, applies X damage and 1 poison. And then finally, Rainfall only accepts 5s, but gives you 3 rain, which allows you to cast countdowns. I'm gonna reroll because I am still looking for stuff. Icicle Blade. Deal 4 damage, increased by 1 this combat. Or Depths of Power. Gain power, but mute it. I don't think I want any of these. I'm going to take the Icicle Blade, but I don't intend to use it. Alright, here we go. I've got the Energizing Potion and the Soothing Solution for this elite battle. Hopefully the Soothing Solution isn't needed. This guy can hex us, I think. Oh wow, that's sick as hell. Thanks, buddy. This 3 is vexed, so I'm going to put it into Eye of the Storm, and in doing so, I'm going to turn my other 2 4s into 3s. Which will give me the ability to invoke bananas. And in fact, by casting Eye of the Storm first there, I've left it with enough charges that I would be able to wave shift something in order to make a 3 and then start with the Eye of the Storm again. There we go with that 3. Combo casting here to try and get a diversity of different results on the die. As well as just to increment the Spirit of Swiftness as many times as I possibly can. Okay, so it ends here. And I want to try and do as much damage to the Djinn this turn as possible. Let's get one more Eye of the Storm. As well as 2 more casts of Invoke Mana. Perfect. So I can throw a 6 and a 1 into Ice Blast. I can throw a 5 and a 2. Throw a 5 and another 2. All of these re-rolling an additional die for us. And then on odds, these wave shifts will re-roll to a higher die. So I can channel Azure twice. There we go. So ultimately, this is the game, right? It's very effortful and slow, which is why I was really hoping that Spell Catalyst would up the block return rate of that old Eye of the Storm down there. I can see how it would be broken if it worked in the way that I intended, or hoped, rather. But leave myself with enough resources so that I, at all times, have the ability to just blow someone up. This is not what I want. That is, though. There's our concoction. Time to start invoking mana. It's not at the end of this turn that I'd take the extra damage, so I don't have to worry about that just yet. I'm gonna pop a 6 into Ice Blast for safekeeping. I'm gonna use Wave Shift to reroll this 4 to be lower. Okay, damaging both of them with the Spirit of Swiftness has revealed which of these djinns is illusionary and which of these djinns is not. I'll kill the illusion. Maybe I should have just considered I might be able to cast 10 more spells this turn. Why do I suspect that? Well, because I can gain more concoction right now. Throw a 6 and a 1 into Ice Blast again. Roll a 4 into something lower. That's enough to put a 5 and a 2 into Ice Blast. I'll reroll. And then a 6, a 5, and a 4. To defend against Channel is your... Damn, yeah, I definitely could have used the additional Ice Blast on the Djinn. Spirit of Swiftness was 100% the correct choice in retrospect. Okay, that's a single 3. But I can generate more. That's perfect. Okay, Eye of the Storm. We start with this 3. Then I use the Vexed 5 in Invoke Mana, which will lower my 2 4s on board into 3s. I even get another 3 afterwards, hell yeah. I still have 1 Conjure, so now I can cast Eye of the Storm as many times as I have 3s. And then I invoke Mana. Keep invoking the unique results, and I'm looking ideally for 3s, but I still haven't found one. Okay, so this is going to stop pretty soon. But this is also the turn that I do push Invoke Mana to its limits. Which does mean I could use Eye of the Storm if I really wanted to. I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna generate the rest of the mana I need. Invoking Mana. Perfect. And then I will energize this 1 because I put it and a 6 into Ice Blast for 17 damage to the backliner, and then I only need to cast this spell 2 more times. I wouldn't even need it to return a die. So this is the 3rd turn. On completion, I can take the enemy out. Okay. Okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Gold spell, Crushing Wave. You're annoying. This is Tidal Hobok. Gain 1 Fortify, unrestorable. That Fortify would give Eye of the Storm much more defense, but the thing is, I don't think I need more defense from Eye of the Storm at the moment. I think I just need to be able to much more consistently... God, my brain is not working today, and I swear I've had as much caffeine as I usually do. Maybe more, actually, that might be it. I've just got to make sure that the combo for Eye of the Storm and Invoke Mana manages to go off, because once it does, I already generate enough block, just by virtue of that. Crashing Wave. I don't think so. I'm taking Tidal Hobok, I just don't think I'm going to use it. Staff of Protection on a 5 roll, gain 2 block. That would give me a lot of block, because I roll a lot of dice each turn. That might be more powerful than an additional shard for me right now. Boy, I was not seeing a universe there where I ended up taking a shard. And then, the universe came and made me take a shard. I might even go for another relic, to be entirely honest with you. Desert Golem is trying to debuff 2 random spells with Broken right now. Oof. That's not what we want to see. Okay, but it has Nullify, negate the next status effect played as well. Cool. Well, I'm going to start invoking mana, hoping for a 3. Or a 4, which I could have lowered with a Vex as well, but that didn't happen. Wow. I'm getting a bunch of defense. The only thing is I don't need that defense at all this turn. That's not what I need. I'm going to focus on seeing if I can take out the Plated Grub this turn, because that would be great. Evens roll into something lower. Wait, hang on. Oh, I've got this. I'm going to channel Azure for the Foresight. Then I have a 3 for Eye of the Storm, and I can start to invoke mana. It's not going to be very robust, but I do need to cast some more spells this turn is the thing. If I want the Plated Grub to die, I need to cast 5 more spells this turn, that is. Which I could just cast, you know, Wave Shift a couple of times. And then hopefully channel Azure twice. Actually, that would be good enough. I'll re-roll that down into a 1. And then up. Okay, well. I didn't get the channel Azure out of it, but I did get to play the Eye of the Storm anyway. There we go. Ah, you broke my 2 spells. The spells that do things for me. How dare you? I'm gonna have to open both of those immediately. And here's the reason. Because this is a sick setup. Again, the Vex, the Hex Robes and the Vex that it gives you are so powerful. Are we ready, kids? I can't hear you. It's time for Eye of the Storm 2 times over. Then I use this Vexed 1 to invoke some mana, and it gives me some more 3s to work with here, baby. What a mess of 6s, though. So we will be running out of Eye of the Storm here, that's fine. Got a good diversity of dice, so now I should be able to Icicle Blast. Once. Twice. 3 times! And in fact, that'll leave me enough for 3 Channel is yours. Oh, but I should have cast the extra spells in Wave Shift just because I could have, for the sake of the Spirit of the Swiftness. Of course. This is the last turn I'm going to be on the field, so I know I can start invoking mana already. I just don't want invoke mana to be finished. So... Ooh. Or... Actually, that'll be way better. I'm going to put 2 2s into Eye of the Storm. So that every time I roll a die, I gain 2 additional damage on my next attack. Then I'm going to gain a bunch of additional damage for my next attack. 6 and a 1 here will hit for 19. I'm going to make sure that Spirit of Swiftness is ready to cast at the very start of the next fight. So I cast 2 other things, and then I use my final here to take you out. Gold, another energizing potion. These energizing potions, by the by, at any point have the ability to let me back into my Eye of the Storm combo after it's been exhausted, depleted. That's what I was looking for. Diminishing Blade deals reasonable damage, but then it decreases its damage. I'm gonna take it, but I don't want it. And with this many spells, it actually makes way more sense to hit a shop than to go to an elite battle. For each 3 attack spells cast in a single turn, deal 10 damage to random enemy. That's a way to get some good damage out there. Silver Herbic. Ooh, and Plague Pestle. Gain Poxbringer. So each time I give 3 stacks of Pox, I deal another 10 damage. So that's a way to get some good damage going on in this build. Let's sell some spells. Noxious Ritual stays. I'm sorry, but it's... it's too good. You can't not. Sell all the other ones. Bladebringer and Illumine Necklace are going to be mine. Huh. Shape of that reminds me of something. Huh. Anyway, Indomitable Form would be a good way to generate a suddenly large amount of block, but I also don't think I need that with this build either, so I think I'm moving onwards. Regeneration, Toxic, Poison. I'll get out of there. Thanks, bud. My damage potential turn over turn, even without spells, just went up ridiculously. Ridiculously! Alright, so if I throw this 5 into something, I can then get the ability to Eye of the Storm, which will happen. Thank you for giving me another 3, so I can just loop that loop again. Thank you for giving me another 3, so I can just loop that loop again. Thank you for giving me another 3, so I can just... Wait, hang on, another 3? What do I do with this? Oh, there's another 3, so I can loop that loop again. The enemies are dying while this is happening, by the by. It's not relevant, but it just felt like I should keep you abreast of what's going on. I suspect I'm killing you all this turn, so I'm just not going to take my foot off the gas. Let's throw a 4 and a 3 into the Icicle Blast. Cool. Strike the backline with that Pox. just take the Plague Bringer off the field. I'd rather have fewer concerns. There we go. 3 attack spells in a single turn and the Illumine necklace clears up after us. Welcome back, Tuttle Herbert. I actually missed you so much while you were gone. I'm gonna take you. I'm still not gonna use you though. In fact, I want to sacrifice you again right now. How about that? More max health does give me the ability to make fewer mistakes, excuse me, but pay for my mistakes, I guess? Which I don't think I'm gonna need to do right now. I'm actually gonna get rid of the Tidal Hobart again. Goodbye, buddy. Not killing on turn 1 here, by the by. Ow. It's not the dice I wanted to see. Oh, there's no 3s in this so far. I can generate one. Alright. Put a 2 into the Invoke mana. I have my first Eye of the Storm. Yep. Yep. This is not sustainable for very long, unfortunately. There's another 3, I do like those. Unfortunately, it will be all I get out of Eye of the Storm here. Yeah, let's use a 4 and a 3, and I really don't want to be weakened by 6. It's gonna make it pretty difficult for me to do anything ever. 6 and a 1 into Ice Blast. If I reroll a 5 up with Wave Shift, I can then pop a 6 and a 1 again into Ice Blast. Big damage. Incoming damage this turn is 20. Not difficult to block all of that. Gonna debuff 3 of my spells with Snare. Make me take 50% extra damage on later turns. How dare you? How dare you? I can use the Soothing Solution to clear all of that Snare after I've had that turn. Yeah, so to be at the very end of this turn. Rude! Again! Those are not good die. Well, for my effect, at least. I'm gonna reroll this 6 down, maybe? Honestly, I kind of want to open up with some 5s and 2s in Ice Blast. There we go, I got a 3. At the very end of this turn, after I get all of them marked, I'm probably going to Soothe. Actually, I might do it next turn because... Oh no, but Curse is already applied at the very start of our turn, so I wouldn't be able to prevent that Curse. I'll pay 6 and a 1 into the Snare. Unfortunately, I am now out of Eye of the Storm. Honestly, I suspect I'm probably best off just by channeling Azure. 4 times this turn, using one of the extra concoctions I generated. reroll this enough times in order to increment my spell counter. Okay, so 18 damage they're pretending to do to me this turn. The reason that I actually have to worry this turn is because this turn... Oh, this is a much better turn. This turn, Cataclysm and Tempest are both in play, and they will still be affected by Marked, so I'm going to have to take 45 and 6, as we saw in our first fight. Yeah, we're really good here. This is a single 3 into either storm, gaining the extra concoction. Which, sure, I'll energize it. Ugh. Anyway, and then if I invoke mana with this 6 that's vexed, I can get some more 3s back, baby. There they are. Raid these 3s the streets. One 3 exactly when I needed it at the very end of the turn there. Got another 4 into invoke mana. Got another 3. Woohoo! 6 into invoke mana. Didn't get any more 3s. Okay, so that's stopping now. I'm not going to be able to kill them all this turn. Still. So I suspect I'm going to want to channel Azure. As many times as possible. No, I'm not going to need it that many times. Okay, so I'm going to throw a 4 into invoke mana again. And then we're looking for a 5 and a 2 in Ice Blast. I should start spreading this damage out, actually. I say, with seemingly no intent to do so. Ooh. Well, thank you. For the additional concoction before the end of the turn. With this much concocted, I don't actually think I'm going to have to use the soothing solution. Oh my god, I still have to use the soothing solution! So incoming damage is 45 plus 6, 51, as well as the damage above their head. Okay, yeah. Soothing solution. There goes that 25 mark on us, so we're only taking... still more damage than I wanted to. We're taking 4 damage to the body. Yeah, completely fine. Nothing wrong with this hand. Look, I would want more 6s, but this is fine. Okay, the storm is getting ready to stop now. 5 and a 2 in Ice Blast, and should really be targeting the front line with that. Great. Can pop a 4 and a 3 in there now. Okay, at this point, I'm going to use an energizing potion on Eye of the Storm in order to give it enough charges to be consistently used, because I just generated a bunch of 3s. What am I going to do if not that? There's another 3 for you, buddy. God, multiple 3s for the Eye of the Storm again. Yeah, I'm just going to continue while I have the ability. Okay, no 3s. We're ending now. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to end the fight this turn, so I'm gonna push for it. Oh no, Ice Blast, you only have 1 more. Oh, okay, it's actually this is way less likely now. Another 3, just in case we ever desperately need it. And then I just wave shift for increments. We always need to know when our final turn is, because that's the turn when I need to invoke mana. And it seems like that turn is now. Yep, that's this turn. Okay. 3 into Eye of the Storm, a 5 gets us all the 3s I could possibly want, or even more Eye of the Storming. You think it's called Eye of the Storm because it allows you to storm off? Answers on the postcard, please. Again, anything non-unique will be rolled. One final concoction. Great. 5 and a 2 to attack the frontliner. I should also energize one of these. 5 and a 3 to attack the frontliner. 4 and a 3 again for the frontliner. So my goal now is just cost 6 more spells. Actually, I don't even need to. The enemy's stunned. And I also could cast exactly 9 more spells this turn. If I spent every available resource. I'm not going to spend Invoke Mana here. Okay, so my goal this turn is take the enemy out with my third result here. 1, 2, and then we'll Ice Blast you. It's my Spirit of Swiftness ready to go at the very start of the next fight. More HP, we're back to full, baby! I didn't think that was gonna happen. There's another shard, even more money. Crooked dice. Roll an extra dice each turn, but rolled 6s, lose 1 value. 6 isn't actually a good result for us. Except for the fact that, you know, it's another result. It's another result that allows me to Ice Blast with a 6 and a 1. Ether Weave. On turn 1, roll 2 Ethers. I don't want Ether casting the Invoke Mana, at least the unrestorable charges of the Invoke Mana. Staff of Splintering. The first 3 rolled each turn are split into 3 1s. Frustrating. I don't want that. I'm taking a full reroll. Shrunken Mana Stone on turns 1, 3, 5, and every odd turn, roll an odd value die. There's also Curse Pendant. Roll an extra die each turn, but each turn receive 2 weak. And then finally, Dark Wraith Scythe. -1 dice per turn, but 2 critical. Shrunken Mana Stone is the one we go with here. Turn 1 and turn 3 are the turns when I most need an additional die. So that's one of the reasons that the evenly weighted one beforehand, the one that's on 2, 4, and 6, was significantly less valuable to me. It doesn't occur on the turn with Cataclysm, and it doesn't occur on the first turn. Okay. Figuring out what to do with this shard is going to be difficult. Alright, what are we going to do with you, shard? The easiest way to get an infinite to go forever would actually be using Noxious Ritual here. Giving it the ability to roll additional die, and then just, as long as I always have a 3, which I'm much more likely to with Noxious Ritual rolling 3 die, rather than just 2. It should be easy to return to and complete the Eye of the Storm. That said, I'm looking for that to, what, go off how many times? Final boss has 600 health. So I'd be looking to cast 1,000 spells in the final fight. Yeah, that don't look good. Also, for what it's worth, in that final fight, Noxious Ritual is going to be a liability to cast early. I almost wonder if I should hold on to that shard for a bit. I know I am going to need an additional slot eventually, though. I'm going to take the additional slot. I'm going to put Noxious Ritual there. Okay, I can only get 1 elite on a line. Is there a late shop? It's not a very late shop. There's a relatively early one. Okay. Fine. We'll take that path. Hello, Voidos. Oh, that's perfect. First, let's expend these 2 concoction. Actually, is it important that I do so? No. Gain as much concoction as I can first. There we go. Wow, not a single 3 yet, eh? Woof. Alright, and now it starts to become a problem if I don't have a 3. There we go, Makeshift gives us another one. I'm gonna try the same thing again, but let's use Ice Blast first, see if that reroll helps. There's our 3. Invoke mana out of the 4, and then out of the other 4. And we're back to casting 6s and 1s in the Ice Blast. That's already 53 damage to you this turn, and I'm not done yet. But wait, there's more! Cop another 6. And with 2 wave shifts, I'll be comfortable where we are. Alright. Another big turn to the Eye of the Storm. total of 3 concoction. I'll use the first 2, still looking for a 3. Found a 1. Six and 1 on the enemy for another reroll, seeing if they find a 3. 6 and 1 on the enemy for another reroll, seeing if I find a 3. I do. Still gonna put a 5 and a 2 on the enemy to see if I can find another 3 before I continue. Ha! And I do! Not that it matters though, because Eye of the Storm can only be activated once. Although, I do have the energizing potion if I were in a rougher circumstance and thought that I needed it. Channel a whole mess of Azure here. And just hit him with a decent amount of rerolls. Okay, at the end of this turn, I'll be taking a bunch of damage. This... I mean, I want this to be our kill turn. Can it? I don't know. I'm gonna use a 5 and a 2 to get a reroll out of Ice Blast, as well as reduce 2 4s down to 2 3s. If I truly think I'm taking out the enemy this turn, I start using Noxious Ritual right now instead of Invoke Mana. Wait, hang on, it's only giving me 2 die. Never mind, that was wrong. That was not a good idea. Bad. Don't do what Donnie Don't did. I only pay 2 health for what I've just done right now. Pop a 6 and a 1 out on the field. Pop a 6 and a 1. One more final 6 and a 1, which will take out the... Oh, doesn't take out the backline box. In fact, it's going to need 1 more. Well, let's get another 6 and 1 on the job then. There's certainly a version of that that would have worked. But it's not the version I did. Thankfully, it doesn't matter what I do right now. My pox will take the enemy over the line. Shield Core with a 4 to a 6, gain 3 block. When depleted, apply 3 weak to all enemies. Honestly, I don't think it's especially relevant. And I'm going to save my rerolls until after I get past the shop. Because in the shop, I may desperately want them. -7 countdown to a single... Attacks gain 20% lifesteal for a single turn. That is the ability to prevent my... to save myself from any big problem. +3 value to all dice? That takes 6s and generates 3s out of them. That's actually going to be ridiculous. Our turn 3 is going to pop off now. In our artifacts, Tempest, costs 3 countdown spells, -3 to the leftmost countdown spell. I don't want my countdown spells casting themselves. There's Focus Toxin, that's the ability to use all of the poison in the game. I'm gonna take it. Damn sap. Damn shield rather, gain 1 power each turn, but also receive a sap. That will eventually stop me from being able to do anything in the game. I take Focus Toxin, and I'll take the Ghost Charm for gain 1 dodge, allowing us to avoid the first instance of damage. Actually, I also want to gain some potions here. Yeah, I'm going to sell Chill Core. So let's think about this, right? After I upgrade Noxious Ritual, I will also need an additional slot. Unless I give up on Ice Blast. If I give up on Ice Blast, replace that with the Focus Toxin, then effectively it becomes I need to generate as much poison as I possibly can, and then send it through. I'm no longer casting attack spells per turn, so Illimine Necklace starts. Illimine Necklace and Plague Pestle both lose their value in that way. Oof, that's a lot. Maybe I replace Wave Shift with Focus Toxin. I'm definitely selling Chill Core, which gives me the ability to buy Flowing Mana and Vampiric Essence. Skip out of there. And, gosh, I think it is Focus Toxin. And then I just need Noxious Ritual to be upgraded. So I need 1 shard. I don't need it yet. As soon as I have the shard, that's when I do it. Let's head to the sanctuary. Oh, hang on. Never mind. There's battle ahead of it. Whoops. Hey, there's a 3. That'll get us started. That's a lot of 1s. Oh my gosh. It's not really what I wanted to see. What it's worth, I can invoke 2 more mana this turn. I can roll with just 1s. I only need to have 1 of it available in order to be able to use it ever. That's working out so far. Alright. These frontliners are getting frenzy, they're getting more powerful as I cast spells, which is fine, because I'm going to kill one of them and then overly defend against the second. Throw a 6 and a 1 at that frontline target. That'll be enough to take him out with the pox. Hey, there's our final 3. Waiting on you. Now that I stand here at the end of all things, I can channel a bunch of Azure, as well as gain a bunch of Foresight for additional die to roll next turn. That'll do it. Not many threes here for us. I'm gonna cast a Noxious Ritual to see if it gives me a 3 or a 4. It gives me neither. Let's do the same thing with Ice Blast, actually. And I'll do it again with Ice Blast while I have the time. And one more time with Ice Blast. 5 and a 2. Got us down. So then a 3 into Eye of the Storm gives me my Concoction. A 4 Vexed into Invoke Mana gives me another 3 for the sake of the Eye of the Storm continuing. There's one more 3, but the Eye of the Storm is now out of charges. Again, remember, I will have the ability to restart that in the final fight via the Energizing Potion. Okay, I'm going to be losing 1 life to my own poison, but then I take the enemies out next turn. +3 value to all die. Gives me 2 3s from my 6s. Pop a 3 into the Eye of the Storm twice, and then if I use this Vexed 5 and invoking mana, I can get a bunch more 3s. So I can just keep going and going and going and going. Oh, there's another 3. Yeah, as soon as the Noxious Ritual is upgraded, this is going to be ridiculous with it. Trying to make sure I can increment the Spirit of Swiftness a bunch of times. At the end of all of this, I am just going to hit you with an Ice Blast, and that'll take you out. Oh, never mind. I was 1 ahead. Whoops. Spirit of Swiftness is now as far as possible from activating. Flowing mana reroll all dice does actually seem like it'd be sick as hell to hold on to, but remove all negative status effects. That's the ability to prevent, like, a giant snare or something else that could, like, very rudely suddenly ruin me. Polar Nexus. For a 6, gain 1 Fury for each block. Admittedly, that would be good for my damage. If I really wanted to, I could remove Noxious Toxin. I could take Polar Nexus here. And realistically, that would probably do a lot more for us. I'm gonna take Polar Nexus right now. Just we'll see what I end up doing with that. Until I upgrade Noxious Ritual, I'm not using it much anyway, so I may as well take the Polar Vortex in the meantime. Unfortunately, at this sanctuary, the only thing I can do is heal health. I don't want to disenchant any of my spells yet. Time for the elite battle. All of infinity. Literally no problem for us. Okay, I can generate a 3 by using this Vex die. So I'll hit you with a Ice Blast. Another one. Another one. Wow, I'm failing to find 3s on constant. Can use Invoke Mana one more time. There's a 3. Well, looks like I'm gonna be out of them now. That's okay. I'm gonna roll a 4 lower to see if it gets me a 3. It doesn't. Locked myself out of using Polar Nexus that turn as well. Oh, baby. That's access to a whole mess of 3s. I'm gonna throw this 6 Vex into a Wave Shift. And then it's just 3 town population me. I'm gonna wave shift this higher, lowering another thing down to a 3. Oh, actually, that's gonna give us free wave shifts. That's not what I want. Let's invoke mana. Even more 3s. 5 free spells. Woof. Okay, combo's coming to an end. Six. Another 6. And then a 4 into Channel Azure. All of that in preparation of Polar Nexus, giving us 42 Fury. Our first attack will be a 5 and a 2, re-rolling. Let's wave shift this down. Oh, look, a 3. That's great. I'm starting invoking some mana with that. Even rolls into lower, so I can use that to get a 1, and then use that 1 to blast the enemy. And then next turn, we have our +3 value to all dice available. Which I want to roll as many, when I have as many 6s as possible. Well, That's some 6s. +3 will die, and there's a bunch of 3s for us. Throw them all into Eye of the Storm, and then we can continue. I'll pop a 5 into Invoke Mana just to decrease a 4 to a 3. No more 3s, eh? Okay. Gain 2 Hailstorm. 5/4. Big old Polar Nexus, and then I'm pretty sure any damage will take out that frontliner. Alright, now I need to decide. As much as I wanted that fight to, you know, to win that fight, not that fight to be over necessarily, that sounds negative. I have no reason not to re-roll at this point. I'll take by Ritual. I don't want it. Now I have to figure out what to do with this shard as the problem. I'm gonna do it. Check out a random event. 30 gold for a Void Spell or Zac Potion. I'm gonna take the Void Spell. No, don't need any of those. Reroll. And this ends allowing us to reroll itself. No. Take Grimrite and walk on. Drafting Void Spells is also... There we go. Collect 5 Void Spells, so I already want to be doing that anyway. Okay. Let's invoke some mana. Not exactly what I was looking for, frankly. Alright. I want to see how this works. Eye of the Storm, give me Concoction, and then I put a 4 into a Noxious Ritual. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put a 5 into a Noxious Ritual. As that Vexed 5 now gives us the ability to concoct a lot more. I have a long time to be able to generate another 3. I suspect I'll eventually be stopped. This is not going to go full infinite. Not least of which because it's already not doing that right now. That said, if I kept my Hex die and had the ability to just wave shift it in between things, I would be able to start this back up again. Relative ease. let's throw a... Wave shift. I didn't want to do that. Whoops. Oh, sorry. Of course, I don't have the reroll from my attack spell anymore. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. I forgot about that. Okay, 25 poison on the biggest bad. And I have 65 block. I can't help but feel like this will work, but it'll suck. Wave shift to gain a 3. The storm has already stopped now. Again, energizing will have the ability to start that up again in later fights. Now I get 3s. Where were they when I needed them? And then I expend the rest of Wave Shift. I believe I have to do nothing this turn. I end my turn, and they all die. This combo is slow enough. I don't need to slow it down further myself. That's a mental reservoir. Hello. It's just, it says roll 5 dice. I put 3 6s into that, and I get 5 dice. I mean, I'll take it. I just don't know if I'm going to be capable of using it still. Channel is yours. Foresight gives me the likelihood of being able to start this up again on a second turn. I could see a world where Wave Shift is replaced by Mental Reservoir. But I think I'm safer in the world that I'm currently existing in. Disenchant a spell, I'll give you Grim Right. You'll give me 8 max HP. Time for the boss battle. Is there anything I need to change right now? No. Alright, Arcanax. Hey, you ready to get the closest thing to an infinite I've generated so far? First things first, I want to invoke more mana. But I can do better by Noxious Ritual instead. Okay. Start popping these 3s into Eye of the Storm to gain concoction. And then I need to filter out the 5s and 6s using Noxious Ritual. Okay, I currently have 3 4s on the board, so if I use a 6 in Noxious Ritual, I can gain 2 3s. Sorry, 3 3s. I also rolled another one, so that's 4 3s. 3, 3, 3. Actively filtering out all of my highest results at the moment, which we can certainly see the effect of on the board state. So that's 2 concoction, I believe, there. I no longer have the ability to generate any additional concoction. Unless I roll a 3 right. Hey, I did! Thought I was done. But my days of not taking this boss seriously were certainly coming to a middle. And there we go, that's no more 3s now. Generated 30 poison on myself, which I'm going to be transferring to the enemy. Alright, let's see if I can wave shift any of these 1s into usable die. As it turns out, the answer was no. Okay, 2 6s going to Focus Toxin. There you go, 39 poison on you. I'm going to channel Azure as best I can. Gain some Eye of the Storm for kicks and wiggles at the end of that turn. I'll take no damage, but I will defend myself for 79. Gain some good Eye of the Storm there. More so. Another 6 into Noxious Ritual. Eventually I can use that 1 to get more 3s, so I want to get as many 3s and 4s as possible beforehand. Okay, so now I would have to spend a 4? So instead I'm going to expend this... Well, no, I want to keep the Vex for being able to wave shift again later. So you know what? I'm going to wave shift once. Rolling that again. That's another 3. Sweet. Eye of the Storm. Eye of the Storm. Eye of the Storm. I'm not done yet. And now because I've got all of these 1s, I'm going to have to invoke larger amounts. There we go. So that I can afford to use Noxious Ritual, because that's much more effective. I will keep 4s. 5s and 6s get rerolled. Unfortunate, not how I wanted that one to go down, but it's okay. 3 goes into Eye of the Storm, lowering another 4 to another 3. We'll just keep on rolling. No more 3s. Not even at the end of all that, eh? Oh, that's all the poison I can get this turn, so let's transfer it all over to the enemy. There you go, you got 63 poison on you. I'll channel a bunch of Azure, just for the extra foresight next turn. And then, actually, I guess I could have wave shifted these a couple times, just to see if I got a 3, which I did. Alright, there you go, buddy. I don't want to use my Fortune's Favor this turn because I believe I'm already going to be able to get a ridiculous result here. I mean, look at all the 3s that I have on board. Lord. Unbreak both of those because they need to be unbroken immediately. Storm as quickly as they can. 4s get kept. 5s and 6s going to Noxious Ritual. 1s and 2s going to invoke mana, though. Which admittedly is less efficient when rolling. So the only way to keep this going now is to expend the 3. It's a bunch of Eye of the Storm, giving us all of our final rolls as well. Noxious Ritual. Another Noxious Ritual. One more Noxious Ritual. Wow, no more 3s at all for me. Okay, so this is going to be the end of our Noxious Rituals. I say that, but it's going to be the end of our combo, rather. And one more 4 here at the end of all things. Great. 2 giant focus toxins for the enemy. They're taking 91 poison per turn now. Soon they will take their entire invulnerability in value to poison each turn. That is not yet. Locked Noxious Ritual. I mean, I'm not a fan, but it's okay. FX starting to generate some 3s. Thank you for the additional 3 at that point. Another 5 into Noxious Ritual. Oh god, please stop rolling so low. I'm going to give my +3 to all dice so that I have some 3s to continue with right now, as well as increase these results to usable degrees. love rolling into 2 3s like that. No more 3s for maze. Let's re-roll 1s, hoping for 3s, but realistically I only need 1 3. Because Eye of the Storm is about to be done. Obviously I could use the Energizing Potion if I really wanted to, but I don't think I need that yet. Giant toxin on you. Alright. You take 121 damage to your poison. Bouncing 3s. At the end of all of these, unfortunately, I'm going to have to start invoking mana, though, because the dice have given me low values. And continue to do so. But I'm consistently getting 3s, so how much can I really complain? Well, I can start complaining when I don't get any 3s, that's certain. Thank you for the absolute abundance of 3s here. Oh my god, speaking of. There's even more than I thought there were. Oh my god, I'm getting really lucky with these 3s. Okay, my luck has stopped. That's okay though, because I don't really think I can do too much more. There's our final redo. Time to channel as your... Make sure to energize as well, just for a little bit extra block. Focus our toxin back on the enemy, and 157 poison on you now. Alright, buddy, it's you and me. This is the last turn, so I will happily use all of my potions here, including gain 20% lifesteal for 1 turn. Which, actually, now that I realize it, without poison build, I can't really gain any lifesteal from that. I want Noxious Ritual to do as much as it can this turn. I'm gonna expend all of my invoke mana first, I think. All of it? I don't need to expend all of it. Just need to leave 1 charge left on each of them. Okay. Now... 3 into the Eye of the Storm a couple of times. I'll filter 5s. Storm, I'll filter up the 5. Another 5 that can go before I have to worry about anything else. Hey, 2 3s. Love to see it. Concoction is making my next spell cast not cost any charge. I can't believe it, but I don't think I explained that 2 hours ago when it was relevant. So if... Sound off in the comments if you only just realized that was happening now. My bad. I keep forgetting. New game. Must explain keywords consistently. I'm usually really good at that. 6 in the old Noxie. Thanks for the free 3 though. I'm looking to collect 4s and 3s. 3s go into the eye of the socket, 4s get, you know, changed. I think I can keep this going for much longer if I now put my 2 into wave shift. Because now I have 1 concoction left over for generating a bunch more Eyes of the Storm. In fact, I'm going to do that again. Seven concoction. Love it. I'm going to keep my Vex die so I have the ability to do that again, because this is just a fixer, and it doesn't spend wave shift, so I can do it at all times. Wow, don't roll just 1s and 2s. That's actually the worst result for us. Thank you. Okay, now I've got to wave shift 4 in order to get 2 more 3s on the fields. I suspect with careful management, and I think I have honed in on the right... not the right, there is certainly going to be a better way of doing this that I haven't managed to figure out at the moment. But I suspect I'm doing pretty well. Can only generate 1 more 4 right now. That's rough. I'm going to wave shift generating a 3. Pop that 3 into Eye of the Storm, and then I'm going to wave shift 1 more time, generating 2 more 3s. Okay, now I've got to start cycling my 1s through Invoke Mana again. And there we go. That's my Vex die gone. Let's reroll all dice. 20% life seal for this turn as well. More concoction, more concoction. Eventually, this turn will finally be over. I've already way overkilled the enemy. But now, I want them to die to poison. Three for Eye of the Storm. There goes Eye of the Storm, which I will let happen because something is going to have to stop me at some point. And I'd rather it be me. Yes. take all of the poison now. And then watch carefully as I generate as much defense as I can. 203 poison on that enemy. Goodbye, Arcanax. Ooh, all the way up to level 6 there. Unfortunately, I'm just short on a bunch of those achievements. I do complete mutation level 6, and we won a game using Water Sea right there. That was a pretty wild build. Spells cast 952. That seems pretty right. Yeah. Dice rolled 1,604. We've unlocked the final loadout as currently exists in the game for Lapis, Cryogenesis. Our signature spell here is on a 1 to 4, 2 times a turn. An odd will re-roll and an even will return, but it returns itself with Icy. Icy, when spent in a spell, gives you X Fury. There's also an attack spell, 4 countdown, 3 times a turn. We can deal 5 damage with Glacial Sphere. And then Hoarfrost, which is on any even 2 times a turn, gain X block. But if you put a 2 into it, you also gain 2 delayed block for the next turn. Cool. Well, we're going to be diving in and seeing what we can do with that in about 1 full rotation's time. It's time to go for Hazel in the next episode. But until then, my name's Rhapsody. Name of the game? SpellRogue. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. There is a top left. There is a playlist rather in the top left. YouTube recommendation down below and streaming past and the names of the people who are currently supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. Add up the thank to, and a special thanks this episode to Disney Mia. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. Hopefully we'll see you next time.